Apple built a computer chip powerful enough to crush the PC industry, then killed it right before launch. For 2 decades, the Mac Pro Tower was the ultimate status symbol for top-tier American creators. This massive, modular silver tower, with its distinctive mesh and steel handles, defined the high-end professional workspace. But in March 2026, Apple quietly removed the entire Mac Pro line from its website, with no replacement. It is difficult to reconcile why a $2 trillion company would spend years developing its flagship computer, only to abandon it just as the AI revolution began. The promise of Apple Silicon relied on a scalable system-on-a-chip architecture that could simply be expanded to meet any performance demand. They start with a single, highly capable silicon die for their standard professional laptops. To reach the Ultra tier, Apple uses a bridge called UltraFusion to physically connect 2 of those chips, doubling the performance. The Extreme tier was the final step, a quad-die configuration created by fusing 4 Max chips into a single logical processor. Leaked specifications for this chip were staggering: 48 CPU cores and 160 GPU cores. Apple had mathematically optimized this architecture to dominate the industry. Yet, they walked away from the hardware at the finish line. In the engineering lab, however, those theoretical core counts ran into the hard realities of physics. This diagram shows the data pathways of that quad-die chip. Scaling UltraFusion across 4 distinct blocks created severe data traffic congestion and latency issues. Attempting to force 4 dies to act as a single brain inside a desktop chassis generated massive amounts of heat and consistent signal loss. Internal records show Apple scrapped the internal Extreme projects, codenamed J170 and J190, because the chips could not be cooled efficiently. While stitching 4 processors together is possible, the laws of thermodynamics made it entirely impractical for a product sitting under a user's desk. Beyond the laws of physics, the laws of economics proved even more restrictive. Apple's silicon relies on TSMC's most advanced 3-nanometer manufacturing nodes, which are currently the most expensive fabrication lines on Earth. This coincided with RAMageddon, a structural global shortage of unified memory that caused production costs to surge. This chart shows the raw material costs for the Extreme chip. When you combine the TSMC wafer costs with the necessary memory, the retail price would have exceeded $10,000. Ultimately, Apple moved its professional focus to the smaller, vastly more cost-effective Mac Studio. The manufacturing costs for the Extreme chip made it an economic liability. It was a high-end product that had priced itself out of the market. The quad-die superchip is still operational. It just isn't for sale to the public. Apple kept the Extreme architecture for its own internal use to support its growing AI initiatives. They built private cloud compute, an internal server infrastructure that acts as the off-device brain for Apple Intelligence. Instead of placing these chips in consumer towers, Apple is stacking custom quad-die M5 and M7 Ultra chips in secret data centers. The upcoming M7 server chip is being designed with 1.5 terabytes of unified memory, allowing it to process massive AI models instantly. Apple didn't walk away from high-performance computing. They simply moved the hardware from the creator's desk into the cloud. This invisible infrastructure now provides a direct, seamless extension of power to the iPhone or Mac you already own. We have transitioned from an era of buying massive towers to hoard power locally to one of cloud-assisted efficiency. Apple has permanently retired the modular, user-upgradable desktop tower. Will you miss the classic cheese grater towers, or do you prefer having that same power delivered through the cloud? Let me know in the comments. The definition of pro hardware has shifted. True computing power is no longer found in an aluminum box under your desk, but through a connection to a supercomputer hundreds of miles away.